One of the biggest reasons I see insurance professionals and agents struggling with sales, right? And they're losing sales constantly because their framing is off. And so what I want to share with you in this video is how you can make sure your framing is dialed in every single time, and so that when you speak to clients, they actually know and understand it's not a peer-to-peer relationship. And you also understand this as well. It's not a peer-to-peer relationship. It's not a friend-to-friend relationship, but more importantly, it's a professional to a client relationship. And so you have to maintain boundaries in the call. I think a lot of agents struggle in this business and in the industry, especially selling final expense over the phone, right? When you're selling over the phone, all you have is your voice. But one of the things that I'm starting to realize, and I've seen agents in my agency and the agents that I coach and train and develop every single day, one of the problems that they have is they get too friendly with the client. And so the boundaries between the two go out the door. And so what happens is there's two spectrums, right? So there's respect and there's trust. So the more that, the more, I remember one of my mentors actually shared this with me, and it was a phenomenal analogy. But as your respect your respect is high and your trust is low for somebody, okay? So you respect them but don't trust them. But as you grow, it's a sliding scale. As you grow to trust them more, your respect for them actually goes down. So here's what I mean, okay? And this is what my mentor actually shared with me that was very, very helpful in understanding this concept. Okay, so you go on a first date with a girl. What happens? You go, you knock on the door. Her dad answers, or maybe it's her, right? And she's like, hey, it's her dad answers and say, hey, it takes a few minutes. Oh, no problem at all. So you go and like, hey, I'm gonna wait in the car. So you wait in the car 15, 20, 30 minutes. And you're completely fine with it. When she comes out, you already have flowers for her. You have a card for her. You're very thoughtful, and you're like, hey, let me open the door. And you're driving to the date. You're like, hey, where do you want to go to eat? She's like, oh, I want to go to a Chinese restaurant. And you're like, I wanted steak. But in your mind, you say that, but you're like, that's fine. And then you're driving, and they're like, hey, what music do you want to listen to? She's like, country. And you're like, I hate country, but okay, I'll do it. But you're obviously like, okay, that's fine. And so you're very respectful of her, right? Because you respect her. You're just starting to get to know her. But as you start to get to know her, I'll share with you in a second. But it's like, okay, you go there, you get to the restaurant, and the halftime game's on, or the football game's on, and it's a playoff game. And so you're like, hey, I want to watch this game. But she's like, hey, I really want to go on a walk, and I really would just want to connect with you. And so you're like, okay, sounds good. You go and do your thing. And that's kind of how it goes, right? So that's the first date. But then 6 months later, same exact scenario happens. You pull up. She's like, hey, 30 minutes later, okay, I'm waiting in the car. Why are you always late? And then she gets in the car. You don't open the door. She's like, hey, I want to listen to country. Like, hey, I want to listen to this type of music. I want to listen to whatever it is, right? Pop music. And so you're like, hey, I want to do this. And she's like, hey, I want to go to Chinese again. And you're like, no, I want to go to a steakhouse. Let's go to a steakhouse. The game's on. I want to watch that. She's like, well, I want to go on a walk. And you don't do that, right? And so things and dynamics change, but the more you get to know somebody, the respect actually goes down. And so what happens is the same thing can happen in a relationship with a client. The more that you're talking about yourself, and the more peer-to-peer that you get, the more likely they are to say no to you. The more likely they are to reject you. The more likely they are to be like, hey, I don't feel comfortable giving that out. I don't want to give my social. I don't want to give my banking, etc. But when you have a professional relationship with the clients and you have clear boundaries internally, right? You're not talking about yourself a ton, right? You're an expert, you're a professional, and your framing is high. You have high authority with the client. When you're able to not only just share that, but ask very solid questions. When you're able to know and understand product knowledge, when you're able to know and understand how much burials and funerals cost. So when you're able to understand these certain things, that's when you will be able to, your close rate will increase, your sales will increase, because they don't feel bad. Not that they don't feel bad. You're more likely to say no to a friend than a random person, right? You're very considerate and thoughtful with other people, right? When a doctor says, hey, they start asking you questions, right, to be able to diagnose your situation. It's the same thing on the sales side, but typically we don't ask like doctors, why are you asking me all these questions? Like, no, I don't feel comfortable answering it, because you went to them. And it's the same thing with life insurance sales. When people are coming to you, they filled out the form, they obviously they have some sort of pain, and you have to find that pain, but you have to ask the right questions to be able to find that pain. And so it's not an interrogation, but you're just curious. Right? It's not an interrogation to where it's like, why are you asking me that? That's weird. But you have a level of framing, professionalism. Hey, I've been doing this for a while. You've helped a lot of clients in their situation. You know and understand this. The higher framing, you're higher as an authority that you are, the more likely they are to comply and actually listen to what you're saying. And they're able to follow you because you're establishing yourself as a leader. So if you're fumbling over your words, you're not actually speaking professionally, these are things that can deter your sales process and actually lower the respect for you. Because if you're able to speak professionally, this is why I don't bash on companies. This is why I don't speak negatively, right, when I'm talking to clients, because you want to maintain a level head and you want to stay professional in all situations. Because the more professional that you can be and be that person, have that type of status, the more likely they are to actually follow you, trust you. When you ask for your social, that you're acting in their best interest. So I hope this video is helpful for you. If you actually implement this into your sales process and have this mindset and understanding, and also it's internally understanding that you are the authority figure, you're gonna help them. And it's not forcing and ramming and making this happen, but it's the way that you ask questions. It's the demonstrating of professionalism in different situations when they come up. If they have a carrier that's not great, being able to speak to that in a certain way that's able to, again, demonstrate your professionalism. Not bashing that company, but they're fairly decent. I think they're great in this area, but I think that one thing that they're lacking is this, and you can go on. And not just saying only good things or only bad things, but yeah, that's fairly decent. That's awesome, right? Staying neutral on the pocket. So I hope this video is helpful for you. Go close more deals because you're the authority figure. You're not their friend. You're there, you're selling because you want to get paid, but then also you want to help the client. And the more friend to friend and peer to peer that you appear to be and that you are with the client, the more likely they are to not comply with you, to be able to give you more objections. And it's easier to reject when you're a friend rather than a professional and an unknown person. So hope this video is helpful for you. Subscribe to the channel. If it was, drop in the comments down below if this was helpful for you at all, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.